Incidentally, as we also conclude the Women's Month, we pay tribute, we salute and honor women who have marched before us to tear down stereotypes against women, and stereotypes whose sole purpose was to relegate women to little corners where they could not make any meaningful contribution to the socio-economic development and growth of our country. We also pay tribute to the women aviators and women leaders in the aviation sector whom against all odds soldiered on to prove their worth in this male-dominated sector of our economy. Honourable Minister, transformation is seriously lacking in the aviation sector. The statistics regarding technical licenses issued by the South African Civil Aviation Authority tell us a story of where we are as a country. As of the 30th June 2019, we had 237 women with air transport pilots licenses against 3,226 men with the same license. There are 17 licensed women helicopter air transport pilots as opposed to 279 male air transport helicopter pilots. There are 44 female aircraft maintenance engineers as opposed to 2,413 male aircraft engineers. If we consider the figures for all the categories of fixed-wing airplanes, only 8% are women. We are saying, gathered here today, this picture needs to change, and that is why we are hosting this summit. As part of advocating for gender equality and empowerment in the aviation sector, the South African Civil Aviation Authority has been hosting women events on an annual basis to create awareness and advocate gender parity. Last year, having seen that gender equity issues were not only limited to our country, we took an initiative to host a global event. From the 8th to the 10th August 2018, the South African Civil Aviation Authority initiated and in fact hosted the first ever Global Aviation Gender Summit. With the support of the Department of Transport, the summit was jointly organized with ICAO, which is International Civil Aviation Organization, and in collaboration with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO in short, as well as UN Women. From the feedback that we have received from ICAO, Minister, is that the Global Gender Summit shall be an event on the calendar of ICAO, and we expect that we shall be gathering somewhere else next year to discuss the issues of gender parity globally. Program Director, I must say that we were delighted by the success of the summit, which was attended by over 500 delegates from all over the world, representing ICAO member states, representing airports and navigation service providers, airlines, international organizations, educational institutions, academia, as well as the industry stakeholders. The executive of UN Women, who happens to be a former deputy president of our country, was also in attendance, together with the Secretary General of ICAO. Furthermore, over 2,000 global viewers live streamed on YouTube to follow discussions throughout the summit. Consequently, the success of the Global Summit compelled us to organize the National Aviation Gender Summit, which we are attending today and tomorrow, in order for us to unpack the outcomes to actionable steps so that we can collectively deal with gender issues in the aviation sector. In 2016, the ICAO Assembly Resolution 83930 on the ICAO Gender Equality Program regarding the promotion of the participation of women in the global aviation sector produced several outcomes. Among others, the Assembly urged regional and international aviation organizations and the international aviation industry to demonstrate strong, determined leadership and commitment to advancing women's rights and to taking the necessary measures to strengthen gender equality. This would be done by establishing supporting policies, programs and projects to advance careers of women in aviation. Already, our Minister has started to give us marching orders in terms of what needs to happen henceforth, and I believe in the Minister's address, we will indeed get our marching orders in terms of coming up with practical steps. Program Director, at this stage, you may be wondering if it is possible to achieve the high ideals to which we allude. Firstly, we need to deal with many negative stereotypes and unconscious bias to make significant changes. Negative attitudes towards women in general need to change, and with deliberate effort, we will turn the corner. Honourable Minister, in South Africa, our female aviators are not standing back for anyone. Just recently, at the presidential inauguration at Loftus Versfeld Stadium, South Africa's first black woman combat fighter pilot, Major Mandisa Mfega, took part in the air display, a proud moment for women of South Africa. Asnat Mahapa is another female pioneer who broke barriers by taking to the skies as the first female African pilot in South Africa back in 1998. She currently flies for South African Airways, our national carrier. But there are many others whom I will not mention at this point. Safe to say that we are all proud of you. To give credit where it is due, allow me to acknowledge the good work done by our government in addressing the gender equity issues. I wish to commend our Minister of Transport and his counterparts in government for considering women in leadership positions, both in permanent as well as in acting capacity. I'm standing here as one of them. Thank you, Minister. We do have many other women whom I will briefly mention. Of course, it's not all of them. I'm fully aware that the acting CEO of ACSA is a woman. She is in our midst. The acting DG of Aviation is a woman. The acting CEO of SACAA is also a woman. And the interim CEO of South African Express is also a woman. So let us give applause to our government for leading by example. You can already see that the cabinet of South Africa has achieved the gender parity which the aviation sector aspires to achieve. I am therefore very confident that when the acting positions are permanently filled, Minister, they will be filled by women. And I say so with conviction. If you go to Minister's tweets, you will find a clip that is very specific about gender equality and empowerment. Minister even takes it further to say we need to affirm even our young women. So I'm challenging you to go and check for yourself. So I'm not just talking without any evidence backing up what I'm saying. So ladies and gentlemen, in our pursuit to make a difference in South African aviation gender equality, it is very clear that we need to change our mindset and refine the practical steps that will make us take us to the most crucial objectives. We can't leave this quest to our leaders only, as the change in gender landscape will require changed mindsets at all levels. We need to be on a mission to level the playing field in aviation and to expedite this process. So we must raise our hands. Let's not be shy, because we are more than capable. So with these few words, as I take my seat, I would like to take this opportunity once again to express my gratitude, and I speak on behalf of the executive of the South African Civil Aviation Authority. The chairperson of the board will still speak, so I can't speak on behalf of the board. To express our gratitude to the Honourable Minister of Transport for your presence. We appreciate your presence, Minister. But I also want to thank our board of directors and executives for supporting and embracing this initiative. It could not have happened had there
had been no support. So your support makes all the difference and enables South Africa to become a leader in striving for aviation gender parity. I thank you.